Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of John Matrixx Talks Movies. If this is your first time visiting the channel, please hit subscribe to catch future videos from me. Today, let's talk about Star Wars. What if the original trilogy never existed? What if the prequels never existed? What if George Lucas never came up with the idea of Star Wars, and it just came out today in what we know as Episodes 7 and 8 of Star Wars? How would you feel about the movies now? Now, I ask that because Star Wars fans are so passionate about the original trilogy especially. Star Wars fans really appreciate what George Lucas created. He didn't just create movies. He pretty much created a lifestyle. Star Wars is life to a lot of people. They can't go, probably a month without seeing one of the old movies that's actually over 40 years old. That is just amazing. He created this entire universe, and people have become addicted to it. But what if all of that never happened? What if Star Wars Episode 7 came out today as just Star Wars The Force Awakens for the first time? How would you feel about the movie if you didn't like it based on what George Lucas had created? Would you like the movie in its own right? Now, I will say this. I personally did not like The Force Awakens. I think it's one of the worst Star Wars movies ever made. Based on what I know about the Force and the way I interpret what George Lucas wanted to do with the Force, everything that we saw in episodes 1 through 6, it's been pretty much the opposite in the sequel trilogy. But if everything just came out right now, fresh, nobody knew anything about Star Wars before, The Force Awakens probably would be a good movie standing on its own by itself. Now, The Last Jedi, to me, would still be a bad movie because it basically took what The Force Awakens set up and did not follow through with anything. Now, I will say one thing about The Force Awakens. If we saw Luke at the end of the movie like we did in the movie, it wouldn't have been an exciting moment for a lot of people because nobody would know who Luke was. And you're like, all right, who is this guy? He's just showing up the last 30 seconds. Why is he so important? It wouldn't have the same impact. I think The Force Awakens would have been good if it wasn't connected to any kind of Star Wars movie, if there was no Star Wars. The legend of Luke Skywalker, them talking through the whole movie, it probably would have been interesting to see, okay, who is this Luke guy? They keep talking about him throughout the entire movie. What is the Force? We don't really know what the Force is. And if you never watched a Star Wars movie before and you watched The Force Awakens, you probably wouldn't understand the Force too much because, for one thing, we never got an explanation in the movie for what exactly the Force was. In Star Wars: A New Hope, Obi-Wan Kenobi introduced what the Force was. An energy field that binds everything together, binds us all together. But it wouldn't be like that if The Force Awakens was just the original Star Wars movie. But The Last Jedi would still be a major problem. The jokes were flat, and you finally meet Luke for the first time, and you're seeing an old cranky old man that wants to deal with nobody. He just wants to die. That's not very good. That's not a good storyline. That is not a good setup following up on the Force Awakens. So I don't think that the Force would be any good. I think Star Wars would be pretty much destroyed going forward. It wouldn't become the phenomenon that it is today if The Last Jedi came out after The Force Awakens. If there's only 2 movies in the Star Wars franchise, I think The Last Jedi would pretty much kill any future Star Wars movies. You know, think of it like this. Can you think of a great movie and the sequel was absolute trash? Let's just use like Conan the Barbarian, for example. Conan the Barbarian was a very, very good movie for Arnold Schwarzenegger. And then Conan the Destroyer came out and it was pretty bad. I know there's a lot of people that like it. I like it in my own kind of way too. But you never saw another Conan movie after that. And there was another one planned and it never happened. So from a Star Wars standpoint, I don't see a third movie getting made. I mean, when George Lucas made the original Star Wars movie, he thought it was just gonna flop. He never imagined what it would become. So with The Force Awakens, also The Force Awakens, there's no way in the world it would make $2 billion being the first Star Wars movie ever. I don't think so. Now, you've seen movies like Avatar, you know, that made over $2 billion. The Force Awakens came out today. I don't know if it's a $1 billion movie or not. I have no idea. Would it make money? Sure, it would make money. Space operas are very, very interesting. People love space movies. I enjoy space movies a lot. But that's just my thoughts on it. What are your thoughts on it? Star Wars, if it came out today with The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, would it have the kind of impact on you and the passion on you that the original trilogy did, but now there is no original trilogy? Would it be able to stand on its own 2 feet in its own right? For me, The Force Awakens could. The Last Jedi would still be bad no matter what. But let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. If you're new here to the channel, please hit subscribe to catch future videos from me, and we will catch you on the next video. John Matrixx, out.